Okay, guys, let me go ahead and show you the latest update real quick. So I've been working on that Red Fox, and I finally got to the point where I was able to, uh, and I wanted to show you what I was able to do, but I got to the point to play the music and add automatically the audio file. So this is what it sounds now. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a curious little fox named Flicker. Flicker loved to chase butterflies and explore the hidden glades of the forest. One sunny day, as Flicker roamed through the underbrush, he encountered a beautiful clearing filled with vibrant flowers and fluttering butterflies. Fascinated, he spent the day playing and chasing the colorful creatures.
So basically, that is the idea, guys. And I did have to do something extra. I had to create a Docker file and upgrade my FFmpeg library. So what that means is, how should I say this? So I'm still trying to get the subtitles done, but the issue I was having is the fact that when I was editing stuff, it wasn't working. The reason why is because I had an outdated version of FFmpeg. So I went ahead and I quickly updated it and created a what's it called Docker Compose file. So what this means is whenever you guys create any of those images, uh, your volume can disappear. So meaning when you start creating automations, notice how there was like literally nothing. So uh, what I did is I created a compose file, and this is what it is. It's basically a compose file. If you go to, and what this will allow you to do, it will allow you to uh, persist volumes across your N8N. So the way you do this, so let's say you wanted to run your entire N8N on your computer and you wanted to have multiple automations. You didn't want your uh, every time you reboot the computer, your uh, automations go away. So obviously what you do is you configure a Docker file. So this is just a quick Docker file. I'm just going to kind of show it to you. So you just literally open up a folder and create this Docker file, guys. So like this is what you do. You create a Docker file, and then in this Docker file, you specify pretty much like all those parameters. So what this means is I'm gonna install FFmpeg, uh, the latest version, and it will install the YTDLP. That's the library you need to be able to use YouTube and connect to it. So, and then it will configure, and then you're definitely going to need the webhook library. You need to have environmental webhook. So this way it knows how to get to your domain. This is a URL that you want to be using, but for your own version of URL, not this one. Okay, guys. But I covered this a bit more in other Pills of Freedom, so definitely check it out. Um, but the idea, guys, is if you set this up, you're going to be able to have your Telegram bot to interface with it. Then, of course, I specify the port. It could be the local port, and it could be anything 5,800 or whatever. So I specify that for N8N. I specify version latest, but the idea here, guys, is you set up those parameters and you make the volume this way. So this Docker file you pre-create, and of course you guys gonna get access to the Docker file, but then what you're gonna do, you're gonna create another file that's called a YAML file, and it's gonna glue this pieces together. It's gonna glue both this Docker file and YAML file together. So what this Docker Compose YAML file does, it references your Docker Hub repository. So this is my repository. This is where the images are stored, the customized images. Customized images is what's being referenced by container. And container is what you're essentially building. So it's like a virtual computer. You type this, Docker PS, it will show you the containers. Okay. So I have two containers. One is the Copora server that's running the audio, and the other one is the actual init container. So that init container is binded to the port. The port is 5678. It has multi-factor authentication turned on. So this way, when I log into it, it asks me for like a token. So, and it only works based on uh, whether or not I have the workflow turned on. So that is the idea, guys. The workflow got to be turned on. As long as it's turned on, you're going to be able to use your reverse tunnel to connect to it. And when you import the automation, keep something in mind that you may need to adjust things for your specific environment. If you want us to do it for you, we most certainly can. And just book a call on freedomfusionsystem.com and we'll help you out. But the idea here is this is the volume, like I'm referencing the volume. So volume is what makes it all persist. And I'm referencing containerized network. So network I'm using to both devices needs to be on the same network. So what I mean by that is when you do Docker inspect, and so let's say you wanted to connect two nodes together, right? So you have, I'm on a computer and I'm on a PowerShell script now. And what I'm doing is PowerShell is right here. You open the PowerShell, you open it, and you run Docker PS. That will list all the containers, right? So those containers need to communicate with one another, okay? So you're creating like a virtual network on your physical computer with virtual computers, and you're getting those two little mini computers communicate with one another, okay? So to communicate with one another, they need to be on the same subnet. So when we're talking about subnet, 172.168.8.0, for example, 24 forward slash bit 24, 172.168.0 forward slash 24. That's so one container 2 and container 1. As long as they on the same network, they could communicate with one another. Okay. So how to verify if they're on the same network? You could literally inspect it real quick. So you do Docker inspect and then give it a name. So give it a name, Docker inspect and 8. And then what you want to do, you want to pipe it into inspect 12.json and then open it up, inspect 12.json and see what this is. So how do you see if the container is on the same network? You'll see it over here. This container is on this subnet, on this IP address. And so it's, as you can see, it's a class B network 172.18.0.2. And it's just, and you could do the same thing for this one and check for fast API one. So whenever you get any kind of containers from Hugging Face, whenever you get any kind of code from Hugging Face and want it to run local LLM or anything like this, you want to be able to just quickly type that in, make sure set them up on the same network, and I should probably do 14 and quickly just inspect it to see if they're in the same network. That's how you verify if something is on the same network. You could search for gateway. As you can see, it's in the same subnet. And of course, inside of the Docker file itself that you're going to be creating, guys, you're going to have a Docker file. So you're going to create a folder, Docker Compose folder. Inside of that Docker Compose folder, you're going to create a single file. Don't worry about other files, guys. Worry about Docker file and two files, this file. Only this one and this one, okay? So after you create Docker file, you're going to be running this Docker file with certain parameters. Those parameters include network. You need to specify network to see. So you give it a name to your network. So like over here, as you can see, you want to give it a shell. So this is a which shell you're opening it up, but the bottom line is you want to make sure that the compose YAML file have the same network. My network like this. And when you instantiate the connectors for Kokoro container and this one and this container uh, in the main N8N container, you definitely want to be in a situation where they're both on the same network. Okay, so I'm using Docker run for this one, and I'm using Docker compose over here. What's the difference? Docker run, you run it now, quick and dirty. Docker compose, you follow a bit more of best practices in terms of composing the image, making sure that this will give you flexibility to just quickly with one push of a button reinstantiate your containers and not have to uh, go back and forth and reinstall new things, new FFmpeg libraries or anything like this, and it just will save you colossal amount of time exponentially. And of course, when you compose down and you compose up, use certain, you basically kind of update the image on a Docker Hub, and you could use that Docker Hub image in your future automations, and you could pull it back and push it back. So after modifying your YAML file, the best practice is to push it back and then pull it back when you want to use it. Now, remember, as long as you have your volume on your computer, you should be good to go. But if your computer breaks, then you better have a backup for that volume, guys. Okay? This heatsink can blow out or something can happen. And for that, you want to be using OneDrive to back up your volume. I have OneDrive and I have Google Drive. And of course, guys, you could also back it up your compose YAML and Docker files into GitHub. So anytime you do a change, you commit, and when you commit, it goes to your GitHub. And when you do that, if you wanted to abstract it a little bit further and simplify it, you could use a more other kind of software that allows you to create a pipeline. So you have everything neatly configured in a pipeline, and you just execute those pipelines like Bitbucket or any other kinds. So I don't want to get into too technical for you guys. I just wanted to show you a quick way for how to tap in, how to download a file from from the container. Okay, that's a very handy thing. You want to know how to download a file and how to execute it. So you have all this how to quickly copy files. Like this is what you want to do. You want to learn how to do this command, how to quickly copy files from your container. To do that, you type this command like this, and you specify. So what I'm doing right now is I'm specifying the ID of container. So Docker copy and then ID of the container, and then I'm hitting enter, right? Right now I don't have anything there, so I type Docker PS. So Docker PS tells me I have this ID. So that is the correct ID, but I don't have a file there. So to and so the question is, how do I check the file, right? How do I check the file of the container? So there's a certain command that you guys want to use to see if there's a file inside of the container. And of course, you could have like a little reference, guys. I'll include all of this for you in the Pill of Freedom as part of the threads stories. But also, guys, keep something in mind. If you forget something, let's say you forgot how to look inside of the container, right? And you just don't know. Go ahead and do this. Watch. You go here and you type the command. Like how do I access the container? It will give it to you like this. This is the shell. So you want to use Docker shell. So over here, you could do something like this. Just gonna hit enter. Didn't work, right? Why? Because I don't have container ID. So, oh, what was the container ID? Let me see. This is the container ID, right? So, boom, just paste it in, done. So, container Docker is not running. Okay, is it not running? Let's go ahead and verify it. Docker PS. Oh, I chose the wrong ID. So you see, guys, this is how you troubleshoot things and quickly kind of fly through Docker environment. So now I'm inside of Docker, inside of the container, and I could do something like ls. I have a file output out.mp4. I generated this file using this automation. This is the automation that produced this file. Let me see. Let me show you the automation. As you can see, this is the automation that produced that file. And the resultant of that, it was in here. Let's see. This is the out.4, and it produced the output.4. Everything looks good. The problem that I'm running into now, so we see the file here, right? So and of course I already downloaded that file into my drive. And of course you guys already know how to download the file into your computer using commands like this. So I'm just gonna show it to you again. I have a folder in my computer. So I go back to my file, and don't worry, you'll have it all those commands inside of a pillar of freedom for thread stories, threadspots stories. You're gonna have that available in there. So if I wanted to do this, right? Well, actually that was the correct. Once again, what I do is paste. Doesn't work. Why? Because I don't have this file. Well, I don't have this file either, is because it's being used by another process. So successfully copied. Okay, so it copied it. To check it, you just hold the Windows key and then jump into C Fmpeg like this, right? Or you do this and CD and then here CD ffmpeg here, and then right here, this is the file, right? So this is the file.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a curious little fox named Flicker. Flicker loved to chase butterflies and explore the hidden glades of the forest.
Okay, guys, so obviously, see the video is playing, and now the question is, what do we do? We need to add, what exactly are we troubleshooting now? We're trying to figure out how to add transcripts. Transcripts from the Whisper model that needs to be concatenated into together into this final output. But it's not happening. We're getting so files, read files from final selector. So what is this final selector? That's the part I need to see. The final selector is, so I'm just kind of quickly checking the code to see, okay, combine transcript, final MP4. You could copy all this code, guys, and put it into in Gemini and kind of see what's going on. That's another way. But over here, what I'm searching for is for this final, what exactly am I trying to read? Trying to read a file. The transcript supposedly was edited, but it wasn't edited the way I wanted to add. I wanted to add all of those chunks over here into it. So how do I do this? So I did prepare some stuff ahead of time just to see if there is any kind of a how I could do this with chunks. So this is, I'm probably gonna, if you guys not sure how to do this, you could just ask ChatGPT and it will tell you how to do it. But if you get stuck in kind of trying to figure it out how to edit, how to add individual chunk, keep simplified, use divide and conquer method to simplify it. And then effectively, it's just gonna be gazillion times easier, guys. So right now I'm just still trying to figure it out. Like let's say we didn't know anything about it. We wanted to do this next. We wanted to take this output, right? Let's say you didn't know anything about it, and if you were to paste all of this, ChatGPT would say, nope, this is too big. Somehow we need to take all this data and combine it together into file. That's what I'm trying to actively figure it out right now, guys, with you.
We will just get the URL from here, drag and drop. Right? You may wonder why we need it to your home. Any subtitle, then we are going to first chunk. Then we are going to loop through the words, stepping by the number of words per chunk. Then for the command note. For this note, basically, it's for adding the subtitle. And this, we just use a fun egg. Okay, for this part, we just drag and drop this draw text command. So for this, it means to load the input video file. The name and the path is the upload MP4. And for this is referring to the video filter. So we apply the video filter to using the store text command generated in the previous note, which is the change to note. For this note, it is referring to copies the original audio without re-encoding. So it's just save time and preserve the quality. And last but not least, this is the new name of the new output file with subtitle.
It just works.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a curious little fox named Flicker. Flicker loved. Once upon a time.
Okay, guys, so I had to do a bit of surgery over here and I managed to get a little further. So now I got the actual subtitles. which
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a curious little fox named Flicker. Flicker loved to chase butterflies and explore the hidden glades of the forest. One sunny day, as Flicker roamed through the underbrush, he encountered a beautiful clearing filled with vibrant flowers and fluttering butterflies. Fascinated, he spent the day playing and chasing the colorful creatures, laughing and enjoying the warmth of the sun. However, as the sun began to set, Flicker realized it was time to head back home. With a heart full of joy and new memories, he trotted home, dreaming of his next adventure.
So as you guys could see, I had to do a little bit of uh, troubleshooting. So to pull this off, this is now in a final.mp4 file. And of course, guys, you already remember how to download a file from Docker. In case if you don't remember that, let me just kind of show it to you. We quickly covered this, but it's essentially what you want to do. You want to open up your Docker. I know this looks like a bunch of gibberish. So right now I'm inside of Docker. So final is .mp4. So final.mp4, right? That is what it was, right? So to really copy this final.mp4, you just go to final.mp4 and boom, it copied it, and now you have that file. Now that file has subtitles. It has subtitles in, of course, guys, this is better than no subtitles.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest.
And so a couple of things I had to do, guys. I had to supercharge automation with Docker Compose. So this way it's easily transferable. This way it's easily updatable. And I had to make sure that it's used in a way where whenever you do anything, you obviously want to upload your latest version of the code. And of course, there's automation that I could cook up for you guys, which will do this automatically to GitHub whenever you make any kind of change. But I don't want it to be technical. I just want it to be kind of approximately good enough, guys. Approximately good enough for you to understand what to do next. So obviously what to do next is, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this into my Google Drive, into YouTube. And once again, it will get uploaded into YouTube. We slowly moving a bit further. It's kind of happening. Did we get any more views? I don't know. Let's see. But the thing is now, imagine this is just one small little story. But if you wanted to do more, well, you could create entire scenario around it and kind of build it a lot more. So I wanted to show to you some of the inspirations that I took from other creators, and of course, I wanted to show you how I'm troubleshooting this, so this way you could kind of troubleshoot it yourself. So I'm following Andy. He's a good automation expert, and what I'm doing is I'm rebranding his automations and making it possible for moms over 40 understand what they are and customize them specifically for you guys. And of course, right now, there's not that many views for this video. And it looks like, I mean, that's okay, guys. Remember, you're not supposed to see like millions of views or anything. This is just one little scenario. As soon as you uh, take that scenario further and introduce additional bells and whistles, then you're gonna start getting views, guys. This is just one little thing, and of course, you want to combine this with other automations, and take that into mass production scale for specific niche. Then you're gonna start seeing the results, guys. And of course, today I was test the power of AI with a simple workflow, etc. So today, guys, was really what I was spent the entire day. I was working on this, just trying to figure out how to troubleshoot this and how to get the Docker up and running and how to get all those pieces working. And one of the things that helped me out was specifically when you get stuck, you could ask ChatGPT to kind of generate a very good response for you. And right here, ChatGPT kind of did this. It generated a very good response. How I was able to take this content and make it possible? It wasn't working. I had to introduce another node, and that node, um, I literally tested out by manually pasting the commands from the previous node, but in a way that ChatGPT recommended me to. Okay, so this is kind of the code that was doing the magic. So, but the code wasn't working. So that's what happens, guys. Even if you follow precisely other automation experts, things may not work unless you get the actual like blueprint and pay for it. And of course, guys, that's I highly encourage you to do that. But at the same time, many of you don't have money for that and you want different combinational skills and automations and whatnot. I get it. But at the same time, guys, save yourself a headache and get the actual Docker, get the actual image. So this way you could import and you're good to go. Everything works for you. So you don't have to go through those headaches. But needless to say, if you wanted to craft bots yourself and figure it out, take a look at this little kind of thing. So this is the text that it recommended me that I use. So it just draws a text box. And I used it. I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna say, you know what? You know what? This actually worked. So how can I modify this command? And I'm gonna give it a previous node. And I'm gonna jump into the previous node. How can I modify this command? And I'm kind of just showing you guys the logic. I'm troubleshooting this, right? So in this, and the reason I edit node, I didn't want to run it again and spend money again from the Whisper model and waste tokens, guys. I quickly just quickly edited another node. So this way, that's like a little cheat code. And you could do this by hitting edit node, right? So, and just selecting edit field, this one. So you set the node, but this is the code that was screwing things up. It wasn't really this part that was screwing things up. It wasn't really this command. It was really this command that was screwing things up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, you know what? This code worked, right? You know, this actually worked. I was able to get subtitles and full video from this text, however, I had to add, however, I had to add set node to mimic it, to mimic it. But I want to make sure this works automatically, right? So how can I modify this command from previous node? Watch how I'm doing this, guys. And literally kind of showing to how I'm modifying this like this, right? Modifying it from the previous node. So this way it adheres to the recommended snippet that you provided, you provided. So it doesn't crash. So it doesn't give me that other that error that I was showing you earlier. So over here, what I'm doing right now is it looks like you're trying to adapt the automated subtitle command into a system for generating dynamic draw text in FFmpeg. based on the transcript data, from what I can tell you, you want to ensure that this process work automatically without running enter. Okay, and it came back and it gave me this. So I could go ahead, and it's a little sluggish. It updated the script. We calculate the text, right? Whatever expected behavior. We set the dynamics font, whatever, right? The bottom line is, guys, the script will generate a list of draw text commands. The text will be dynamically sized, and the text will appear in specified time. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go here, and we're just gonna update this. Okay, guys, we're just gonna update this. Not a lot of people show how to craft code. People just show already built results, and then you figure out how to, you have to guess how to craft it. Right now, we're crafting it. So right now, I edit it here. I'm not really worried about saving or whatever, right? Because everything's already saved in ChatGPT. So right now, I edit this. That's cool. But guess what? We got this node over here. Remember, we performed a little surgery. We edit this node. Okay, we're gonna remove the node. We're gonna remove the node, and we're gonna send it here. So now we got this node over here, and it's referencing draw text commands. What is it referencing? It's referencing those draw text commands, but I didn't run the node. I didn't rerun the node. So now, because I modified the code technically contains all this data already. So what I could do is I could remove this thing like this. So this way I don't run extra costs, and run it and executing this, and boom, it failed. Reference node that doesn't exist. So I needed to actually reference the node before this because it's using OpenAI Whisper. So no, I can't do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and modify this again, and I'm just gonna edit again, and I'm just gonna have to rerun the node again. Screw it, I'm gonna run the node again. It would take too long for me to modify to make sure it doesn't run through OpenAI. So I'm just gonna run it again. Next time I'll probably do it in a way where I don't have to, but to save, there's certain things that you guys could do. So over here, it failed. So it still failed. And even though I did everything based on the recommendation, it's not failing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come back, and it says error initializing simple graph, right? So I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna tell it I'm still getting error. It's not like this, like this. It's not based on the format, I guess, that you recommended earlier. The earlier one worked, right? So I'm kind of telling it to go ahead, think a little stronger. So it seems that the error is due to the box border. The correct syntax is this. In effect, should include proper replacement and formatting of options. Okay. So it kind of gave me this. I'm gonna just tell it to, I'm just gonna tell it, this is, okay. This is the static text. Static text, static text. But I'm referencing draw text from the previous node. So let's see. Let's see if it, no, it looks like the issue facing related to how draw text filter is being constructed. specifically with the border width option. So basically I need to tell it to reconstruct it. Okay, guys? So it looks like to reconstruct it, we're gonna have to, so the previous node is constructing it already with incorrect syntax. Why are you focusing on this node, this node with this syntax? So, and I'm gonna ask it questions, right? So this is okay. So I see the previous node already filter passing as that. Then it's likely the issue lies within the construction and not previous print. That would mean the problem is the specific node, but with how the dynamic text is being constructed. So you have to give it like clues, guys, when you do this. So this is, that would mean the problem is when whatever, right? So it's telling me check the previous node. You can log or print output to ensure it's being built correctly. You want it to be something like this. Escaping issues in JSON. So test the by substituting directly into simplified FFmpeg. Ensure proper JSON structure and dynamic values. So it didn't really tell me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give it a, so we know this edit node worked. I'm gonna ask direct question. This worked. How can we make sure that this code, and we're gonna go here. That this code generates what's above. What's above. Like this. So this is more of a direct question. So because I'm not running on GPT-4, I'm like on a, I'm running on a free model. It's giving me kind of a average responses, guys. Okay. So we're gonna do this again. Okay. Now I'm gonna combine that. Let's see. Nope, it didn't work. Still having the same issue, guys. Arrow opening up of files not found. What? Option not found. So what I do is like this. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna open up Claude AI. And I'm gonna go have to I'm gonna try to jump in a little bit further. Troubleshooting this error. I use N8N and This is the syntax. This is the node that generates draw text. Then I'm gonna give it the command that this one works. In this format, it works. In this format below, it works. But how can I adjust the code? I adjust the code to generate such a format that works. Okay. So we're gonna quickly jump into Claude. Okay, it told me right away that it unsupported version of FFmpeg. And it's modifying this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and check. So I hope you guys watching this. I hope you are consuming this and seeing how I'm doing this. All right. Boom. Test. Okay. So it consumed it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try it again. Oh, I know, like, okay, this is not good. Hold on. I'm on the wrong workflow altogether, guys. I don't know if you noticed that, but let me just come back to this one. That's where I'm supposed to be. Copy. Just gonna close the other ones. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna test it again. There we go. And we are gonna go ahead and test this. Voila, works. It works, guys. This is very good. This is very good. So we managed to do it, but we didn't get STD out, which is, I mean, cool. Let's do final one. What did it do? Hold on, let me see. It generated final.mp4. Okay. So we're just gonna read this. We're gonna read it. Final.mp4. So Claude, guys, wins, and ChatGPT is
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a curious.
ChatGPT is junk, guys. If you want to do coding, use Claude all the way, right? But it's a yes and no. Why do I say that? Because when you have a huge N8N workflow, you wanted to just copy the entire workflow and paste it into Gemini. You get a huge million token context. That is not to say that ChatGPT doesn't have it. It does, but it's just expensive, and it's, Gemini is free, and ChatGPT is good. It's good for marketing, it's good for other aspects, but for coding, Claude is the way to go. And Gemini Gemini where it can parse through, and this and Claude can like literally just kill it. So right now, guys, you could kind of see that it generated this. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that code. I'm gonna save it. And of course, you guys, it's available for you guys as N8N Blueprint. I'm gonna make it available once I finalize this version, guys. And I'm gonna upgrade it and make it possible for you to get the composer, basically the Docker. So the way it works is when I upload things to Docker, to repository. Okay, so I'm gonna say, how can I download my image from Ron Wells Docker Hub? Right, so let's say you wanted to do this and you wanted to replicate this. You would need to get the Docker image. And of course, guys, I'm gonna package everything for you. I'm just kind of showing it to you, like how would you actually do this if you were to proceed crafting things and uploading things for yourself or for your community or whatever the case may be. But the way you would do it is to download an image from Docker Hub. You open up your terminal, you type Docker login like this, right? CMD, Docker login, and keep something in mind. This is, I'm logged in into Docker. Right now, I'm just kind of, let's say I wanted to pull the image, the latest image from repository. So you hit enter. It didn't get it. So data is not found. So obviously, guys, you need to also tag it. So let's say from my image, and of course it's not even the correct syntax. So I could just say, how can I search for latest images on in my repository? In my repository, could ask questions like that. ChatGPT is pretty good with responding, but for questions like this, but when it comes to anything complex things, what I just showed with code, you definitely want to be doing things the other way. So a couple of things to search latest images, you can follow the steps. CMD, Docker images. So as you can see, and let's say you wanted to get this latest image and you wanted to load that custom image with N8N. Keep something in mind, this custom image referencing my volume and it's referencing my like extra settings. So unless you have similar setup like this, where you create a volume with similar name, then of course it's not going to work. But the idea here is once you get the pill of freedom, guys, which is going to be just like those pills of freedom where I break everything down and show you step by step, then it's going to become easier for you to consume this pill and effectively use the Docker environment to your advantage. So, for example, let's say you are not sure exactly what the Docker image is. So if you want to automate the search process, you can use the Docker Hub API, etc. I think in our case, we're really what we want to do, guys. If you wanted to automate it and see what what I have up to, you could do this, guys. But that's not the point. The point here is, if you wanted to download the image, like what is the image used for, right? Let's just say you're not sure. You understand the concept of containers, images, and Docker, but what do I use the image for? Let's say I pull the image from Ron Wells repository, from Wells repository. How do I edit into my Docker? I'm Ron Wells student. So, and by the way, I'm gonna share with you this chat as well as part of the Pill of Freedom. As a student of Ron Wells, here's a step-by-step beginner-friendly guide. So, Docker pool. So, to help you understand, right, what is a Docker image? A Docker image is like a blueprint or a snapshot of an app that includes the app itself, all the code, libraries, and the settings needed to run. Think of it fully like configured app in a box. You pull the image from Ron Wells repository, assuming Ron Wells has shared the public image on Docker Hub, which I did, and you'd use this command. For example, the image is called storage_n, and you want the latest version. You type docker pull storage_n, the latest version. This downloads the image to your machine. Once the image is pulled, you run it as a container, which is like launching the app from the box. So if it's a web or an API and it uses a port, expose it like this. Docker run 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So step 3, optional, interact with the container. If you want to go inside the container, use this. You can find the container ID like this. To restart it, stop, start. Okay, so it's a bit vague. I know it's not the best, but this is the reason why you want to be like using compose and pull and push, compose up, compose down, all that stuff, and upload things to repository when building stuff so other people can download them. And of course, guys, you'll have access to this as well as a ChatGPT assistant, which is, I make it over here, ChatGPT assistant. So, and of course, guys, if you struggle to figure this out and kind of be like, oh, but I don't know how to do this. I show all this, like my entire conversation. And also sometimes I have multiple ChatGPT conversations, in which case what I do is I share them. And I make it available for you guys as well. So this way you could take them and literally pop them as those pills. So additional, so I'm going to include this over here, additional ChatGPT info can be found here, or how to troubleshoot N8N stories workflow, ResBots stories workflow. So this way you could kind of have this available for you guys and have everything in one spot and not kind of try to, don't worry about following too much. You just kind of try to understand the concept of how I'm doing this. And the rest is just going to be very, very simple. And of course, guys, the next thing, what I'm going to do is, okay, but Ron Wells showed also things like compose, up and down. How does that apply to me as a student? I just want Ron Wells blueprints so I can create similar stories like of a red fox. So let's say you don't understand something, you ask a question like this. Perfect. You're thinking like a true apprentice in the feudal automation realm. So that's why I like ChatGPT. It likes to crack jokes, but that is within my feudal system framework he responds. So you're thinking, and let's see how he responds. So why I use Docker Compose as a student of Ron Wells. Imagine your system isn't just one container, like storage_n, but multiple working together. One text generation, one image generation, one for video, one for storage, all defined in one file. It's repeatable, It's portable. That's called Docker Compose. And what I do is I take this and I go to threads, guys. And of course, guys, this is a very good way of you kind of using threads. And you could put like this, okay? And then put digital marketing, always hyper focus on your marketing empire. Always show the people what you do and how to use it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead like this, and we're gonna jump in. How to use it. Of course, guys, people will look at this and they'll be like, "Oh, I kind of want to learn craft bots." They will not have full understanding. Okay, guys, they will not have full understanding. Remember, your goal is not to let people be. Your goal is not to educate. Your goal is to make money. Remember, guys, what you're doing when you're using threads, you are creating this awareness. Okay, so this awareness is what you want to show. If you don't show that awareness, people are gonna be like, huh? Like, why should I be learning about all those bots? And I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I should be learning about them. Maybe I shouldn't be learning about anything and just watch Netflix all day. So, right? And like this, guys, your job is not to make people comfortable. Okay? That's not your job. Your job is to make them feel pain. Okay, guys? Customize your own story from Compound YAML. If they're comfortable, they're not going to buy from you. I hope you understand this, right? Don't make people comfortable. Make them the other way, not non-comfortable. And I promise you, you're going to make sales. Okay? Because I see a lot of moms blowing smoke in each other's biscuits and telling all sorts of stories, guys. Uh, Trying to get people comfortable, and then they'll be like, okay, I feel comfortable. I don't need that. Maybe I'll come back next year or next week. So yeah, remember that. Okay, guys? Remember that. Use the opportunities of your as you build to grow them. Okay, to grow your socials. Create mysterious threads that are just be like, huh? What the heck is Ron Wells doing? Right? But think instead of Ron Wells, think of yourself, right? And just do it. I promise you guys, you're gonna create like a lot of awareness and people gonna see that you're crafting bots, you're doing all those things. And they're gonna be like, oh, I want it. I want in. And of course, I didn't even bother fully checking this flow and sending it to Superbase. Uh, I will. Superbase is like a database. You send it over and it's just there available. And then, yeah, and it's just one tool, guys. We haven't. This is a video creator tool, and in a way, like if you fail, let's say you failed to create fully blown automation, which you will fail. I'm telling you that now. Um, then don't worry because once you fail, you're gonna be like, okay, at least part of the workflow is working. How can I make money from part of that workflow? Right? How can I make money part of the workflow? There's no point for you guys to be building huge workflows and nobody knows about what you're doing and then you're getting cooked, not making any money. Guys, your goal is take the workflow, show what you're doing. Then let's say you failed in all the let's say you failed in getting other pieces to work. Let's say you were like, okay, you know what? I got the video creation workflow working. I could create videos. That's all good and great. But let's say you failed completely in connecting this workflow together to the Telegram, where you could talk to the Telegram, and you just failed to build a fully blown product like this, where you could talk to it, and it knows what's going on, and it creates things for you in Telegram bot, as you guys already seen it. I'm not gonna bother explaining this too many times again, but you just talk to Telegram, it generates everything, yeah, audio, video, background music you provide, and even that you could simplify, automate that. So this way you don't have to provide anything. You just talk to it and tell it, pick something from my list of background musics, and it just kind of does. Or you could say, go and find some very good trending music that's royalty free, that's not gonna get me in trouble, and create a list out of it and connect that list and use that list to iterate through it and include that in my story. Sometimes there's situations where you want at the same time trending sound, and at the same time you don't want trending sounds. How do you know when you want something or when you don't want something? Well, when you get banned or get your video not getting only like one view, two view, probably you're using some sounds that are literally not copyright or copyrighted, meaning somebody actually doesn't want you to use them, and you're using them, and of course YouTube is detecting that, and of course you are getting the bad results. That's what I discovered as well was happening with my videos. And so I have another automation called ThreadsBots Quotes that solves this problem. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, definitely check this out. The automation blueprint is available for you guys over here, ThreadsBots Quotes. And don't get stressed out. If you have something not working, your goal is not to build the fully blown workflow. Your goal is to create partial workflows and show how you're using them in your business, okay? And then gradually add other things in the mix. Because think about it. Now this automation, let's say there's a new N8N came out. How are you gonna update this without having some of those skills? Or how to like utilize Docker and whatnot. Guys, at my job, I do this with multiple clouds. The way I'm showing to you now, I'm doing it with multiple clouds. Google, AWS, Azure, Oracle. But for here, I'm just kind of doing it like also interfacing in a way with multiple clouds, but in a way, sort of like multiple systems and clouds and networks, and but at the same time, it's kind of all the same. It's just input and output, and databases, vector-based databases where you send information and people can download, right? So that's basically what it is. And today, what you're seeing me do, you see me kind of iterate through things. You see me test out different models. But let's say you were doing this, and the question is, all of this workflow right now is based on edit fields, meaning manual crafting, meaning manual substitution, meaning like here's the URL, I'm gonna set a node, I'm gonna set it exactly as is, and I'm gonna go through it. Why am I doing the edit manually? Because I don't want to be burning through credits, running the whole huge automation workflow, and it fails and I keep doing it again. I burn all the credits. It doesn't make any sense, guys. What you want to do manual kind of edit nodes for how you want the data to be. And then, and obviously, what you want to do, the way it works is you start off mimicking somebody's blueprint. That's how it works. You take the screenshots, you copy the whole thing, entire YouTube video summary into Gemini. You get all the context. You include all the libraries. You use a RAG as well to include all sorts of libraries in a mix to provide it as much context as possible. And then you tell it to recreate the entire workflow. That's how you start. That's actually how you start, guys, not the other way around of you picking and choosing a node and be like, oh, what's going on? What is that?
Once upon a time, in a lush green
So sooner or later, you will be getting good. If you do vibe coding, if you do like coding and thinking that it's easier than this, you're right. You may get stuff done with coding a lot easier, but soon it becomes, after just few initial kind of walls that you're going to hit, it becomes a regular coding. And if that's the case, you might as well don't do the regular coding and just do something that's consistent, something visual and something that you could explain and represent, but make money in the process of doing so. That's why I'm doing low code versus just code. I'm doing low code and no code versus just code. But do I expect you to do it? No, guys, I don't expect you to do it. If you want to do it, you can, but that's not my goal. My goal for you is to build your digital faceless channel and make money in combination with your brand. So whether you're selling digital products or physical products, this is the skill you want to have. The process of substitution comes next. The process of substitution comes next. So the first thing what I did is I kind of reintroduced the workflows. I used the split things, I used all those things. And trust me, I anything that I was trying to do, I would be doing it and I'm like, man, what the heck? It's not working because I either hit one error or another error. If you guys don't want to go through this hurdle and spending thousands of hours going through this and just get the blueprints, DM Path on my Insta. So this way I could send you the blueprints that you can adjust for yourself, for your brand, or you could just go to my site over here about Freedom Fusion System and you could hit join now button and then scroll to the bottom and just yeah, just pick the time and we get on a call and then we'll discuss what you want automated and we'll cook something up for you. Just be sure to specify sales rep. So this way you get the credit discount. If you don't know who is your sales rep, pick me, Ron Wells. If you do, and then definitely pick them because you'll get bigger discount than just picking me. Okay, so but guys, remember, in case if you want to be the sales rep for Freedom Fusion System, hit me up. I'm looking for few. You'll get a good commission as well for any person that you refer. Now, going back to what I was saying, guys, look, as the side hustler, as the bougie mom over 40, you need to be real to yourself. How much time do you think you're going to be doing this? You really don't want to be doing this. You just want to open up Telegram bot and just talk to it and create a bunch of stories. Create a bunch of stories for your children, create a bunch of stories for your channel, and make it grow. Now, over here, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of going on here. It doesn't seem, so we uploaded this video over here. So let me see. Over here we got music. This is 1 hour music. So I'm gonna include, this is the workshop that I was how to create a Red Fox story workshop, right? So over here, I'm not doing anything much other than just kind of including description. But even this pain in the neck, because honestly, guys, like it all should be automatic. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And I already got there in my other automation. You just have to see it. But sometimes you just have to operationalize some of the constant workflows that you're doing. So right now I didn't really see the latest video that got dropped. Maybe it got maybe I dropped it in the wrong folder. But let's see. G YouTube. No, it was here. So it probably takes a little bit of time.
Once upon a time in a lush green forest,
Probably takes a little bit of time for it to pick up, but, or maybe I just need to refresh it. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was, no, it's already here. I just needed to refresh. So this is Red Fox with subtitles. Fox story. Red Fox in the forest. Remember, your goal, guys, is not necessarily to specify very specific details about a red fox. Your goal is to put very short description and title because that's what brings those views. Providing that you do all the other pieces correctly, and keep some in mind, you may have 0 views, but at least after you do this, and this one, like literally hit with the copyright, the owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. So you could take a look and what exactly. So the copy claim on your video don't affect your channel. This is not a copyright strike. So how to create a Red Fox story workshop. Motivated background. See details. Okay, guys, let me go ahead and show you something real quick. So notice how I went ahead and I used some other music, guys, in a mix, and that detected it as a copyright material, right? So try to stay away from that, right? But if it does, you know, kind of use free copyright music, okay? So that's why I'm creating those automations to make it easy for you to not fall into the trap where nothing is going on, guys, and you're getting hit. So look, new achievement, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, more of your videos are being looked at more often. Okay, that is crazy, guys. Like literally the channel is blowing up. So it's just like, it just took off, guys, like a rocket. So, I mean, is it good? I mean, holy smokes, 119 hours of content people watched. 119 hours, guys. So that is insane, guys. I mean, this is what happens. And we haven't even started, guys. So we're just in the beginning phases. And anyway, guys, I'm super happy for you. I know you can crush it. The only thing is what you could do when you're doing things on threads, kind of go ahead and interlink your threads together with other content. So over here, you could go ahead and include, for example, go to content, you could include this workshop and get shareable link and include this in threads, right? To learn more, check out this workshop, right? Like this. And what you want to do, I'm doing basic interlinking. I'm going to show you the Buy Me Coffee page again, the one that I posted earlier for you guys, kind of quickly show you what's going on. And now hopefully you guys understand how crazy that is if you don't start using different AI models. And of course, guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna respond and include this thing here. I'm gonna jump into threads and include this thing as well. So what I'm doing is including this content so this way it's multiple socials are involved. We'll talk about how to do this, automate this as well. But right now, guys, most important part for you is to understand that you need to be using combinations, right? So combinations, and what you could do to really like spice things up, you could include additional videos, right? Just kind of and include something like this. As you're doing this, you want to be telling them, hey guys, look, hey guys, I created the fox. I created the fox. subtitles. It's perfect. It's perfect. Digital faceless marketers. This automation, this press bots stories automation. It's perfect for digital faceless marketing moms over 40 seeking to save time and gain more views, and heck, even build stories for their kids. So like this, right? And this is built. This is pretty much built, but it's not built until it's fully operationalized, guys. And to operationalize something like this, you really need to understand Lovable, and that's and Cursor. That's kind of the next level stuff, where you make a front end interface. If you're lazy and you don't want to create any front end interface, try this tool, Magic Patterns app. Create an account and just put the prompt of what you want. It will create the site for you, and you're good to go. Don't need to pay any money for any websites. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Very easy 2-minute thing. So your problem is not building a site. Your problem is not understanding those high cardinality, heterogeneous complexities. But imagine if you're able to understand them just by watching a few of my workshops. That's exactly what you would get as part of my community, guys. My I have Freedom Fusion Path community, and I have, of course, Freedom Fusion Land community. In my community, you could jump in and you could ask questions. You could get your automation workflows completed faster. You get access to many hybrid skilled moms who are doing this already in my community. And of course, I'll introduce you to other my vendors, my secret AI vendors who I work with, who I get all the tea from, and then operationalize it into meaningful solutions for moms over 40. And of course, I have Feudal Kingdom Academy, which is for business owners, moms, luxury, feudal lords who already have who are brand owners, and who want to use their brand to make more money by offloading work to side hustlers, moms with hybrid skills who can help in building that feudal kingdom stronger. This is called Feudal Kingdom Academy. And of course, guys, Feudal Kingdom Academy is just one of many. It's just one of 2 programs that I offer. Think of it as a one program for one type of mom who are existing owners, feudal lords, and another one for other type of moms. And of course, Thread Stack Power Bundle is my product. The price to get access to it, to this bundle, is $14.99. It gives you access to Threads bots, Threads themes, Threads stories, Threads booster, Threads samurai, and Threads slacker guide. You could learn more about it by just checking out this pinned thread. And yeah, so that's it for now, guys. The next step that we're gonna try to do, we're gonna try to operationalize this. We're gonna try to remove the edit nodes and manual dependencies from this workflow. So what we're gonna do, we're testing it, and now we are operationalizing. We're checking. Okay, this I cannot leave us static like this. It needs to be dynamic. How do we do this? That's what I'm gonna show you next, how to make things dynamic. So this way you could connect it to your model context protocol server, and it can control those nodes easily. So, and instead of manually clicking this, it's going to be done through when executed by another workflow. I'm going to show you the best processes for handling this and how do you do this substitution. So this way, everything gets generated correctly. So this one is, I didn't include this node anything here, but I'll probably get to it at some point. But all this is if if you don't have background music, it will just generate the same exact thing as what's here, but without background music. So how does that work? Over here, this is the background music, right? This is with the background music. So it's leveraging information. So it's basically taking a file, taking the images, concatenating the voice over audio that you generate from Telegram, and generating and combining it together with, it uses the orientation landscape and adds it to output.mp4 file. And of course, there's a bunch of, it takes the shortest file out of the biggest file, that kind of thing. And what it does next, guys, in speed, you could adjust the speed, the volume of the sound. If it's too loud or not, you could make it louder or less. And of course, guys, things like this, you could also operationalize into front-end UI, front-end interface, to make it super easy for the user to do. My goal here is not for you to create a fully blown SaaS app. My goal for you is to make money, guys. And the way to make money is to have a little bit of everything, multiple skills. But with the create combined video, so over here you download an audio, and this audio becomes the random string. So it's become like a file with random characters using this library. In Composer, in Docker Compose, in a Docker file, I'm referencing this library, so this way you don't have to install it. You just load it and boom, it's available for you. Okay? Just like FFmpeg library. So, but over here, we got the music, so we downloading this audio. And the output of this background music is going to be this random thing, file name with .mp3. So, I mean, that's all good and great. But what if you don't have background music? Well, then I would just pick another path. But do we need to do it? Let's just assume it will always have the background music. But if you don't, effectively, you don't need to download this part. You just take this, copy this node, paste it here, and now instead of using the voiceover, you remove the voiceover and you remove this part over here, and you just do it as is. If you're not sure what the output looks like, let's say you're like, okay, you know what? I know what you're saying, Rome, but I don't get it. What I need to remove. Don't try to understand it, okay, guys? Instead, just copy this thing into ChatGPT and paste it in there and say, look, how do I have two paths that I need to take. One of them is where I generate the music, the other one without. And you could just literally copy the whole thing into ChatGPT and say, I have this condition like this. I want it to be the same exact thing, but without music. And it will tell you exactly what to do. And of course, you need to run this thing to here and essentially like this. And then over here, just without music. Try to figure it out, do this exercise for yourself. Copy this thing like this and paste it in. Of course, you will get access to those blueprints. I'll make it available for you on my bio link, guys. Once I finalize this, for now, you could just kind of tag along, and you could always reach out to me and say, hey, Rom, can I get a blueprint? That's also valid. Just subscribe if you can get a chance, or buy me a coffee if you like my content. And I'll see you guys next time. I know I'm a heavy drinker, heavy coffee drinker. Today we did a lot, we accomplished a lot. And yeah, guys, of course, if you wanted to join my community, let me know. You will get definitely a lot of value. It's $14.99 to get access into my subscription Thread Stack Power Bundle. I'll try to update this thing over here. This is slightly outdated, this information here. I'm gonna include Thread Stack Power Bundle and to make it a bit better for you. But the idea here is Thread Stack is only $14.99 per month, not 30. And you basically get access to multiple guides, premium chat rooms, premium workshops, and lots of support. But this is it's a separate community, not from Buy Me Coffee. That's why I didn't link it this way. But what I'll do is I'll create another program for you guys as part of Buy Me Coffee over here, and I'll call it like Feudal Kingdom Academy, and also I'll call it Feudal Incubators. So it's technically divided in two communities, Freedom Fusion Path and Freedom Fusion Land. Freedom Fusion Path is where you have those different types of feudal incubators. And Freedom Fusion Land is where you have all of those different types of feudal lords. So in a way over here, I kind of, have Freedom Fusion Booster for feudal lords, Freedom Fusion Booster Premium, that kind of stuff. And then over here, you could kind of see further. So definitely, guys, start building your Buy Me a Coffee page too, and start reflecting. And also update it as well to make it easy for you to understand how to build those kind of things. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you next time. Take care.